What if the foreign policy experts are wrong again? For nearly a decade, the establishment in Washington has warned that bold foreign policy moves by Donald Trump would spark chaos. Moving the United States Embassy to Jerusalem, they predicted regional violence, joining Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear program. They warned of all-out war, backing regime change in Venezuela. They forecasted regional collapse, and each time, the sky didn't fall. So now, as warnings flood in about the catastrophic consequences of a United States strike on Iran, the White House appears confident. Trump's pattern is simple. He acts boldly, the experts panic, and nothing irreversible happens. But this time may not be like the others. Let us explore this dangerous pattern. There is a reason Trump may believe he can strike Iran and walk away cleanly. He has done it before. He has repeatedly defied institutional warnings and emerged politically unscathed. From his perspective, the lesson is clear. The so-called experts exaggerate. Escalation is manageable. America's power deters retaliation. And that belief is now colliding with Iran at one of the most fragile moments in its modern history. But here's the critical mistake. Weakness does not equal surrender. In fact, weakness can make compromise harder. Why Iran is less flexible now. Iran today is weaker than it was a year ago. Its proxy network has been degraded. Its air defenses were severely damaged. Its nuclear facilities have been hit. Its regional deterrence looks thinner. On paper, this should make Iran more willing to negotiate, but in reality, it may make them more dangerous. Why? Because the Iranian regime believes something fundamental has changed. They now think the United States and Israel are not just responding to threats. They believe they are planning recurring strikes, especially against Iran's ballistic missile program. And that missile program is not just military hardware. It is the backbone of regime survival. Iran cannot compete with Israel or the United States conventionally. Its missiles are its deterrent. They are its insurance policy. They are its final line of defense. Demanding that Iran dismantle its missile program isn't a negotiating position. It's asking the regime to sign its own death warrant. And that is something that the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei will never do. Not under pressure, not under bombing, not under sanctions. He would rather escalate. There is also another problem: Trump's binary approach. Trump isn't approaching this like a traditional negotiator. He wants a grand deal. A historic moment. A headline victory. Total nuclear rollback. Missile dismantlement. A sweeping framework he can present as Middle East peace. But Iran negotiates differently. Iran prefers technical negotiations, incremental concessions, specific sanctions categories. In detailed compliance frameworks, they negotiate in footnotes. Trump negotiates in headlines. And when these two styles collide, there's very little overlap. Worse, Trump's motivations appear mixed. Is he trying to demonstrate military strength, or trying to improve leverage, or trying to differentiate himself from Obama, or even trying to protect Iranian protesters, or just trying to avoid looking weak? When objectives are unclear, escalation becomes more likely. Because if a strike doesn't produce immediate capitulation, there's no obvious exit ramp. Here's where things get dangerous. We may be entering the point of no return. Iran knows it cannot win a conventional war. In previous crises with the United States, historically, it de-escalated quickly. But the calculus has changed. Israel and the United States now perceive Iran as weakened, and Iran believes this perception invites further attacks. From Tehran's perspective, if they don't respond forcefully, they risk becoming a punching bag. If they respond too forcefully, they risk regime destruction. That is a dangerous middle ground. Iran may not close the Strait of Hormuz. It may not sink an aircraft carrier. But it has easier options. And some of them are painful. What Iran could actually do. There are roughly 40,000 American troops stationed across 13 bases in the region. Iran does not need to defeat the United States. It only needs to inflict casualties. History matters here. In 1983, after the Beirut Marine Barracks bombing killed 241 American servicemen, President Reagan withdrew American forces from Lebanon. Iran remembers that. Even a limited number of American deaths could dramatically shift American domestic politics, and polling already shows most Americans, including many Republicans, oppose military intervention in Iran. That's one escalation path. There's another: energy. Iran could disrupt Red Sea shipping via the Houthis, harass vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, target Gulf energy infrastructure. In 2019, Iran attacked Saudi Arabia's Abqaiq facility. That strike was calibrated. It damaged repairable components. But imagine if they didn't calibrate. Imagine if they targeted infrastructure designed to take months to repair. Oil prices spike, global inflation surges, markets panic, political pressure explodes. And suddenly, what was meant to be a limited strike becomes a global economic crisis. Here's the final danger: the escalation trap. Trump has built a political identity around decisive action without prolonged war. But escalation isn't always controllable. If Iran retaliates, if Americans are killed, if oil prices spike, if Israel demands deeper support, then what? Does the United States escalate again? Does it strike leadership targets? Does it attempt regime change? Does it send ground forces? Even if that seems unlikely, the path to deeper involvement is often incremental. And history shows how quickly limited strikes can evolve into something much larger. Let us not forget, Iran is weaker than it was. But weakness doesn't mean surrender. It means insecurity. It means paranoia. It means higher incentive to respond forcefully. For years, Trump's foreign policy gambles avoided major blowback. That pattern may have created confidence. But this time, the structure is different. Iran believes its survival is at stake. It believes repeated strikes are coming. And it may conclude that absorbing another blow quietly would only invite more. The question isn't whether the United States can strike Iran, it's whether it can control what happens after. And that is far less certain than it appears.